Okay, I'm about to paint the cat's eye. I have frisket on it, which is film that's satin finish, so it's all protected. The pupil is exposed. I cut that out. And what I decided to do today, here they are there. I got some colors mixed up. The lighter color, which is a yellowish, a light yellow. Then you got some green. You got some browns and very dark sepia-like in the corner there. So right now I'm gonna take one of two airbrushes to make the video move along quicker. This is actually it's an Awada HPSB, and it's a really good airbrush. It's pretty close to the Micron, but much more affordable. But the other airbrush, the Micron, has already got the yellow mixture in here, so I can move along. And then I got a couple of colors that are set. So let me get busy. All right, so like I said, that's protected. So as I spray into this area, there's a couple little highlights. I'm just going to leave kind of like little baby marks to tell me where I can put them there. There's one there, there's one there. Go around the top. I can make those pop out more later. I'm spraying on the frisket a little bit, and I'll clean that up so you can see the shape. Actually, in something this small, I'm spraying on the frisket what looks like a lot, but as you see, you kind of clean it up here a little bit. Okay, so we've got two marks of where I can lighten the highlights in the eye, in the pupil, and now we're going to move along here and put, as soon as I find it, there it is. Okay, I'm going to put the little cutout piece on the pupil back on. I'll use the X-Acto knife. I'm not worried if I scratch the paint I already have here right now, or, okay, a little wrestling match here. I'm just concerned about having it in there. I can touch it up. Just register it nicely, put it back in where it belongs. And now, already cut out, like I said, I can go after the iris. So hopefully I can get this lifted. There we go. Okay. And if you did a good job cutting, then you will have no tears, which I see. I didn't complete the cut right here. Okay. All right, the pupil's protected. The iris is now removed, so I can continue. Like I said, I've got the other airbrush going, so I can go right to it. And if you look at the reference picture, you'll see a lot of very light yellow right in here. But because I'm going to spray darker over lighter, I can just simply spray the yellow on and cover it with the darker color. So I'm going to put it in a number of places. I'm just going to spray it in, and it's over in this corner. There'll be other colors that are darker over it. Okay, up here, and right over there, it's going to be right in there. Is going to be very dark. I'll show you in the picture. It's going to be brownish sepia colors. But for now, I'm working from light to dark. Got opaque mixture, so if I spray it over and over, I will eventually hide the lines, which I do want to do in some spots. I don't mind leaving that little edge there because that's a mark of how far out to come with the darker color. Okay, so I've got a base in here of my yellow. Now I'm going to just take this and clean this up a little bit. Just kind of help you see. Helps me see what I'm doing too. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, so I'm going to switch colors now. Like I said, I already have. I'm using this. Oops, sorry guys. To spray into to get rid of the color. It's good. It's clean, and the water makes this, and it's really good to protect your lungs and to also contain everything and not let a mess get going in the room or the studio, wherever you're working. I don't have my fan on. Usually I have a fan on, but you wouldn't hear me too well. And I am spraying a small area, so there's not going to be much overspray. Okay, so I'm going into the green mixture. The colors are from Createx. There's just one of the bottles. Illustration colors. Okay. Transparent. And I'm about ready now to put my green in. Now if I spray this color light, very light, I'll do it here. Hopefully you can see it. I'll do it right there. If I spray that light, it's easy to erase, and it's easier to erase, I should say. And it's also got a lot of, it's diluted pretty good, because I don't want it to be just so covering that I can't do anything. I'm trying to just tint and put in what I see here. All right, so I'm going to work off of the, remember the iris is covered, it's protected. And I'm just going to work off the pupil, I'm sorry. The pupil's protected. A couple little marks down there. Kind of broken up, and there's like a line right here. So you just take the airbrush and work it in, and you can very quickly turn down the air. I have the MAC valve right here. I'm going to turn down the air. And I'm going to just continue to go to the top, kind of using miniature feather strokes. And dust around here a little bit, just give it a little more color. And I'm just putting it where I see it, kind of letting it, a lot of texture in here. A lovely micron. Kind of use a pump stroke there a little bit. The finest details. Again, I am not working in this particular video on the angle I like. It's semi-angled. I like it to be straight up. I have a high back chair. Being a sign painter all my life and then into art and teaching, I ended up having neck problems, a lot of pain in my neck when I stay in any position too long without supporting my neck. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working in that position. But for these videos, I have to just kind of work for a little bit in a position I don't like. Tip dry. Oh, tip dry. And more air pressure. It's not coming out. There we go. All right, that's going to get a lot darker. That's going to become grayer. But I've got like a base set in. I'm going to kind of go with this, and I'll be tweaking it and working on it and adding things to it as I go. And I see a line right here. It's going to come out. There's all kinds of interesting things that go on inside of the eye, human eye, animal. It's really cool. And you can make them look very glassy as you study what you're looking at and start to create. All right, so for now I'm going to work with that. I am now going to switch over to my orangey brown. So I'm going to clean this out off camera. Hope you can hear me. Just flushing it out. Going from one lighter color to a darker color. I mean, the cleaning, as long as it's all in stages, you don't have to go crazy cleaning the gun, because I'm going to be just adding a dark color on top of a lighter color anyway. So let's see what we got here. It's kind of orange over in the corner, but it's very light, as you can see, and then when it gets way into the corner on the right, it gets darker. So and then the left side, of course, this is all on the iris. On the left side, it's really a darker, whole nother color that is sepia and maybe a little black, but very diluted. All right, I'm going to sit down here and try to paint. I've been standing. Okay, I've got trailing going on. Trailing is when the paint comes out when you don't want it to come out. As you can see here, I'm not pulling back the lever. I'm going to pull the needle back a little bit. There's a lot of things you can do to make a quick fix on that, especially with the t-shirt style. Sometimes it's just turning the needle, which I just did, and now there's no trailing. Very, very diluted mixture here on purpose, because I'm just going to be tinting when I want to get real dark. And I'm going to turn the air down a little bit again with the MAC valve. All right, here we go. Let's get this going. A little test on the side. And you have to look at your reference picture a lot. There's no getting around that. If you don't stare at the area you're working on, you could work away from what's actually in the picture. You have to be very careful to stay with it. Okay, so now I see I'm just going to dust in a little tint right here. You could walk it off of the frisket. In other words, just deflect it a little bit. I'm further away. I'm getting a softer, softer spray from being away from the surface a little more. And now I will go into the darker area that's going to be the sepia. It doesn't matter because I'm going to put in the darker on top of it. So I can do this but I can make it very dark if I want, because the sepia is going to be even darker. Got a little stray piece here. All right. And this goes down to about here. And again, it's kind of, if you look, it's not solid. Again, your reference is your answer. All your answers are in the picture that you're studying, because it's right there for us to see. The lighting, it's all freeze framed, from the camera. So even with this pixelated picture I have, I can make it look better than the actual picture that I have here, in the sense of just a nicer, well, it won't be pixelated, that's for sure, and it will just be, again, trying to get a thin line. It'll just be just along here, just creating a little visual noise. Okay, a little bit of here. All right, go just a little bit longer on this one. And again, it's all, you know, what I'm doing by having this protected, it's really allowing me to, whoops, I see the camera shaking here. Hopefully that won't be too bad when I check it. All right, so you can see, cleaning the frisket off, showing me more what I have inside the eye. There's a lot to do here. These colors are still too bright. There's, like I said, there's gray tones, you know, highlights. It'll all come together slowly but surely. I'm going to put a little bit of sepia in the gun. Normally I mix my color in little color cups. Solo makes them. They're really great. They have lids that you can snap on them, and then you can store your paint and seal it, and it will last you for a while. Now I'm going, but having said that, I'm now going to put the sepia, for the sake of the video, right into the color cup. But I've got a little bit of I'm going to put a little bit of reducer, and then I'm going to add a drop or two of sepia, and maybe one more drop. I want it to be very thin mixture, and then I'm just going to take the airbrush and I'm going to mix it by just kind of blowing bubbles back into the color cup. Okay, that helps you kind of stir it. Now I'll test it on here. Still coming out orange. Let's get this going. Actually, I like, this is not full strength yet, and I like the color that it's starting to come out, so I'm gonna work with that for a minute. It's gonna get darker and darker as I go. Now we're gonna just do a nice little, it's almost like a vein, and then shade off of it. This is like micro airbrushing, which I really love to do this. There is an orange kind of glow inside that sepia color, so I'm gonna continue to spray off the edge of the frisket and leave that orangey kind of color along. One more pass on that skinny area. Now I'm going to tint over that. Just knock it back so you can still see it. And it's not exactly like that, but I am going to work on it more when the camera's not on. Over here, right side of the eye, I've got a little bit, it kind of bumps back out. It's very, it's like a wiggly line. Okay, so it's kind of dancing around, and it starts getting dark on this side, so I'll walk my way down onto the same line. Whoops. I just kind of wiggled the airbrush a little bit, made a dot that wasn't there, but again, I can just work on that later. I'm going to try this gray tone right here just to see if the brown, the sepia will gray it a little bit. It's pretty dark up here. Yeah, it is working. There we go. And down here. Get in closer and you can kind of develop a little line again. Okay. A little pump stroke here. making some, oh yeah, I got to go after that tip dry a little bit. You can rock the needle. You can do a number of things to help yourself out. I still see it darker up here, so I'm just going to do one more pass, just kind of up in this area. Getting a little brown, so I'm going to hold off on that. Okay, just a little whisper here. And for now, I'm going to probably stop the video in a minute. Well, I will peel this off so you can see kind of where I'm going with it. Otherwise it looks like nothing. All right. So, again, we can do that. If you're continuing, I'm going to break the rules and lift this up so you can see it more of what it's supposed to look like. So I'll take this off. A little scratch on it right at the highlight. That's pretty good. Okay. And then you've got, let's try to see this. Let's see, how can I do this? Okay, I'm going to lift and let you peek. And let me peek too. Okay. So there's the beginning of the iris. Lots of stuff to go on. And then remember, there's no color here yet. So once you start working your colors of your fur around it and start, you know, putting color against getting rid of the white, it'll start making more sense. Right now it stands out like that. But I hope you got something out of this. The other eye I'm going to treat the same. The other eye's probably going to come out better. This isn't finished anyway. When I don't film it and I can focus on really painting without, you know, worrying about the camera and everything else. Okay, so this is it for now. I am putting that back on just so I can have it to work with. And yeah, I'll be going back in. When you have freehand control, you can go back into certain areas and touch up. Let's see if I ruin this. Little baby touch up. And of course the actual highlight will be lifted out. Trying to find Tombow has a little eraser here. It's not the exact shape of the highlight, but it can be worked. I can take the X-Acto knife too and start to shape it. And they're kind of square. They're not square, but they're edgy looking. And what I mean by that is basically they're really, you know, very, like I said, they've got like sides to them, edges. So you could take the X-Acto knife and you could come in here. I use the two hands and use just the blade on a flat angle and work out your highlight. Shaping it more. Go this way. You can see it getting brighter and more to the shape. I have a lot of work to do on that. But anyway, I will post more as I go. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to be making a lot of videos in the future. And